Good morning, everyone. This is a live look at Grand Lake right now, and not long until we see temperatures in the hundreds in Colorado. We have a lot to talk about this morning to keep you safe, from your forecast for the weekend to the people who are even more vulnerable than others.
If you need to get out of the heat, don't forget there will be cooling centers open. Aurora is offering up its libraries for anyone. Denver will have designated places for people to cool down at its libraries, as well as its recreation centers. The cooling centers are expected to stay open through Sunday. Good morning, I'm Corey Rose.
And I'm Jordan Chavez. Eric is going to join us in a minute to talk about your commute, but we want to talk a little more about the heat first.
So let's start with meteorologist Corey Reppenhagen, keeping an eye on the forecast right now. It's already been a warm few days, but Mother Nature is saying, hold my poodle.
Exactly. It's nothing compared to what's coming today, our second 100-degree temperature of the year, and we'll have a couple more as we go through the weekend. Those temperatures right now not starting to move up just yet as the sun comes out here. Still 39 here in Leadville this morning. Temperatures relatively comfortable now along the Front Range, but look at this timeline here as we go through the day. We could be in the upper 90s by 11 o'clock. We could be at 100 before 1 o'clock. Could hit 102 or 103 in between 2 and 4 p.m. So we're looking at a good 8 hours of high impact heat coming your way in the upper 90s. Here is the forecast high temperatures across the state today. Hot to the west and hot to the east of the mountains, 70s and 80s as we look into the high country. We'll be talking about that forecast for the heat advisory that's in place for today, tomorrow, and Sunday. The heat wave will continue until about Monday afternoon, and when this breaks down, we'll be looking at severe storms returning to the forecast. Now, climate experts are particularly worried about our vulnerable communities over these next few days, especially when it comes to neighborhoods that can be around 10 degrees hotter than other parts of the city. Anusha Roy joins us now, and Anusha, this is an issue that goes back decades.
Hey, Corey, it definitely does. And we're particularly in Denver talking about what's known as the inverted L. So we're talking about parts of North Denver and West Denver. These are neighborhoods that have a lot of pavement, but not enough trees, so people don't have shade. These homes a lot of times also don't have AC. Their windows are not meant for these kind of extreme weather events. There's also a history here of underinvesting in these neighborhoods. These are also the same areas that were redlined. That was a practice dating back to the 1930s when people were denied mortgage loans or it was so hard to get one, and that was preventing people from building wealth, and that ended up disproportionately impacting minority communities. Here's the thing though, we are still feeling the impacts of that today with the lack of resources in these neighborhoods, and then again that lack of tree canopy and too much pavement, especially for a weekend like what we have coming. And that is why the city is particularly worried about this part of Denver this weekend, and then in the long run as well when it comes to climate resiliency.
Those parts of the neighborhood or parts of Denver can be 9 to 10 degrees even hotter than the rest of the city. Right. So when you're talking about temperatures of like 100 degrees across Denver, then you're talking about temperatures closer to like 110 in those areas.
The city of Denver said that some studies show that as many as 49,000 people in Denver could be impacted by those even hotter temperatures. You hear the advice all the time, right? Go to the rec center, go to the museum to cool down. But you have to think about that in-between step. Do you have a safe way to get there that doesn't involve waiting out in the heat to get on the bus or RTD or something like that? So coming up at 7 a.m. on KTVD, we've also been chatting with our fire departments who are preparing to beef up their responses to fires in the coming days. They're also saying that their areas are actually more than 30% drier than compared to 2010, which is another factor that they're dealing with going into this heat wave. Reporting live in Denver, Anusha Roy, 9 News.
Yeah, firefighters are on high alert for sure. Anusha, thank you.
Our team is staying on top of the heat for you all weekend long, and you can always check the latest forecast, warnings, and more on the 9 News app and streaming on 9 News Plus.
Now let's get over to Erica Lopez. How's traffic looking out there?
You know, guys, not too bad at all on your Friday morning. We want to start everyone out with a live look from Sky 9. They're over 470 and I-25, where, as you can see, everything is moving nicely on the interstate, on our overhead ramps this morning. Really nothing to worry about along this stretch. And I'd say the rest of the metro is cooperating for the most part as we take you over right now to our CDOT camera. As you get ready to travel on I-25 and Park Avenue, this is going to be one of our more congested spots as you get ready to travel through the North Washington stretch. Again, I-25 Park Avenue, southbound lanes headed away from us. That's where we're seeing a little bit more volume. Definitely seeing a handful of cars headed toward us northbound as well. As we take you over to our map, though, really we're looking at a whole lot of green still. So even though volume is building in a few spots, I wouldn't say we're dealing with any significant slowdowns. We do have one new crash this morning if you're going to be traveling in the area of 6th Avenue in Golden. That's going to be something you'll want to watch out for right around 470 and 6th Avenue this morning. Additionally, we do have some westbound I-70 road work closing off a left lane through the Genesee area if you're going to be headed that way. Only about a 3-minute slowdown coming into Commerce City on westbound 76, so you still have the green light. We rarely get to say that at 6:35 in the morning. Right now, only slowing by about 4 to 5 minutes for your westbound I-70 commute between E470 and 76.
Okay, thank you. New this morning, mosquitoes in Weld County have tested positive for West Nile virus. Health officials say that mosquitoes caught in 2 areas of Weld County tested positive. Those areas are Johnstown, Milliken, Platteville, Firestone, Dacono, and Fort Lupton. County tests positive for West Nile virus, which spreads through the bite of an infected mosquito. No human cases have been reported in Weld County so far.
Health officials say they have found a case of the human plague in Pueblo County. This is the same plague that's known for the Black Death in the Middle Ages, but the CDC says they are rarely any human cases today. Health officials confirmed the case earlier this week, but they still don't know where it came from. Humans can get the plague from being bitten by infected fleas or other animals. Some of the symptoms are fever, muscle aches, and swollen and painful lymph nodes. Doctors say it can be treated with antibiotics.
Right now, the Boulder County Sheriff's Office is asking for help finding the man who set fire to the building. Now, they say they have a picture of him. The Sheriff's Office says this happened around 11:30 p.m. on the 4th of July. They say the man was armed with a revolver and a knife when he broke into the building off of Highway 7 about 3 miles south of Allens Park. Deputies say that he set it on fire before trying to light another building on fire. The flames spread to the ground and caught some nearby trees on fire before crews were able to put it out. If you know this man, you are asked to call the Boulder County Sheriff's Office.
This morning, we have new information about the DNA analyst at CBI who admitted to deleting data in criminal cases. Missy Woods told investigators why she did it in an interview last year, and 9 News Investigates got a hold of that interview. An intern found problems in her work, and Woods resigned last year. This interview happened after a review found she deleted and manipulated data in criminal cases. She answered most of the questions with, "I don't know." Eventually, Woods admitted to doing it to avoid taking additional steps.
How did you feel about what you were doing? Did you feel bad about it? Did you feel, or did you wrap your mind?
I didn't even think about it. I didn't even think about it until 5 weeks ago.
The review happened late last year. Since then, CBI learned Woods tampered with DNA evidence impacting more than 650 cases. We still don't know if Woods will face criminal charges. Her attorney has said Woods has maintained she never falsely reported a DNA match.
It is now 6:38 on your Friday morning, and right now Vermont is dealing with some serious flooding from the remnants of Tropical Storm Beryl. More than 100 people have been rescued and at least 2 people have died. Both of them tried to drive through floodwaters, which, as you can see, are very high right now. Crews are still searching for people in some of the hardest hit areas. And in central New York, they have been dealing with tornadoes. The National Weather Service confirmed 7 touched down on Wednesday. You can see the damage that's been left behind, doors and windows blown out, trees uprooted. This is also part of the aftermath of Beryl. Now, for the rest of the country, it is the heat that we are dealing with, and once again, it is breaking records. According to the EU's Copernicus Climate Change Service, June was the 13th month in a row to break a global heat record. Scientists say heat waves are becoming the new normal. And Corey, of course, here we've got to heed the warnings as well as we get ready for the hundreds for the next few days.
Yeah, Jordan, I think today's going to be our second 100-degree day of the season in Denver here, because we had one back in June, and it really has been a hot summer altogether. We're seeing a lot of comparisons being drawn to the summer of 2020 when we had 75 90-degree days. Today will be our 22nd 90-degree day. Back in 2020 on July the 12th, we were at 30 of these 90-degree days so far. So we are well on pace to beat this average, probably in the 60 to 69 day of these 90-degree days coming up. But at least so far, it looks like we will come up short of this record-breaking insanity from 2020.
Still in for some serious heat though, right, Corey? Thank you so much. It is 6:39 on your Friday morning, and we're taking a look at your commute right now. Southbound 225 beginning to slow a little bit between Parker Road and I-25. We're also beginning to see some delays on both sides of 270 as you get ready to travel through Commerce City. A little bit of stop and go on westbound 76 as well coming into Commerce City. And as far as the one crash we're dealing with, if you're going to be headed out in the Golden area, it's along 6th Avenue and Highway 93.
Erica, thank you. We're getting you ready for the extreme heat this weekend. New at 6:30, why doctors say you might not feel the impacts in your body right away.